All right, we're on step 5, lead capture and landing zone, aka forms and calendars. So our checklist for this one is calendar connection and syncing, create a form so that you can use it on a scheduling calendar, and then scheduling calendars created. So if we go over to here, number one, you always want to look at the Patriot Business Systems website. If you have the recruit plan, you don't have the scheduling calendars. If you have recon and or elite, you would. So just make note of that. If we go into the bottom left settings and then my profile, this is where you can come down and look at calendars, add a new calendar. Typically you're going to do something like, Google Calendar, Outlook, etc., and connect it. If you're using Google Meets or Zoom to do any type of screen recorded type videos or meeting on Google Meets, and that's what you intend to do with your scheduling calendar, you would connect that as well afterwards, so that when you use your scheduling calendar and it automatically creates a Google Meet or a Zoom meeting, it's done so because it's connected here and your calendar is connected to that. So go ahead and connect to Google. You're going to point to the appropriate Google account. I'm going to do that here in a second and connect that calendar. Okay, so whatever email, go ahead and connect. You're going to have to put in a password. I'm going to go ahead and put that in, and then I'll click next and come back. Okay, so we're going to click continue. Okay, so now you see that the connection was successful. You can see it connected here. Lead connector is connected to our calendar at this point. And so next step will be we want to create a form real quick. And that form can be used when somebody is booking on our scheduling calendar to get some additional information. You can add multi-line text boxes of what are they looking to get out of the meeting, things of that nature that will be asked as part of the booking appointment. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the main screen. If we go to Sites and Forms and Builder, we'll go ahead and build a form. Okay, so if we're going to go to Builder, we'll go ahead and click Create New or Create from Scratch. We can always move this into a folder, but at the very minimum, I would say we want to have name, email, things of that nature. And then we can always add a text box, like I said before, with different things in there. I'm going to leave this just as a test for now. Schedule calendar. And I'm going to save this so that we can use it. If I go back, you can see that it's hanging out without a folder. You could create a folder called Scheduling Calendar. And save it. Now you can right click or double on the triple dots and move to folder, and we'll point to the scheduling folder. Go ahead and move it in there, and now that's there, and we can always obviously create more later. So calendars on the left here is what we clicked. Calendar settings with a little gear icon, and we're going to create a new calendar. You can determine which one you want to use. If you're obviously rotating between team members, round robin might be a good thing. Collective booking is basically allowing somebody to pick who's available. So if somebody's available at 10 and they need a 10 o'clock appointment, then it would book to them. That's kind of what that looks like. Otherwise, personal booking, I'm just going to call it a 15-minute phone call booked with me. We're going to let it have a URL. We can always change that. Meeting duration, we're calling it 15 minutes. And then availability, you see no availability. We'll go back to that later. Let's go ahead and create that. So the pencil icon allows us to edit. So you can put in here, an image, a description, but they can see the descriptions and things typically as well. So just know that. 15-minute phone call to discuss your business and what you need help with. And then you can change this to where the title says something like 15-minute phone call, and then their name, and say with maybe you or your name. And then you can kind of see here, meeting location. This is typically where you could adjust or change if it's going to be connected to a Google Meets or a Zoom. You'd be able to connect it up and select that if you had already connected your Google Meets or Zoom. So, you know, there's that caveat of if you were going to use Google Meets or Zoom, you should have connected that first and then come in and do your scheduling calendar. So availability, this is where it was saying no availability. You can make it look busy where, you know, 30% of the meetings or 10% of the meeting slots are filled automatically, so it looks like you have other things going on, or leave it off. Recurring meeting, is this going to be something that happens repeatedly or not? Meeting intervals, you can always come up here and do the little I question mark. It is 30 minutes between each, so 9 to 9:30, 9:30 to 10. That's what this is talking about. Or do you want 15-minute intervals or hour-long intervals? You make that choice. Scheduling notice, typically I do a 1 day out or a couple hour out minimum so that I'm not caught you know, trying to do something or having maybe a personal appointment and then all of a sudden I have a meeting bumped right up to it because of this. So always like to have them 1 day out. Max books, so, you know, do you want to only allow up to 3 of these a day per slot? Normally 1. Buffer time before, so do you want 15-minute buffer time so that in case you run over, you got a little bit of time? Post buffer, same thing. So we'll leave it like that. We'll go to forms. This is where you could grab your form that we created, and you can now use that so that it intakes the information that you had on your form. Notifications, you can turn these on or turn these off. You can go in and edit exactly what is said to them. So these are email notifications that are sent out regarding the appointment being set and then confirmed. If they cancel, reschedule, a reminder of when it's coming, you can either leave these on or leave them off. We do have reminders in workflows or automations already set up. So the recommendation would be to turn these off. So on the pencil icon coming in here, I would disable this and leave it like that. Now you see there's no green. Same thing with this in the app. If I wanted to, I would turn this off. If you ever have a question about the automations that we have set up for reminders on appointments, it's typically a 24-hour reminder via email, and then an hour before, 5 minutes before, and that includes some emails and text. If you want to have more than that, we can talk about what that would look like. If you want to allow it to send the invitation through Google, leave that on, or you can check it off and have the invitation sent just through the system. These are the types of things that I would recommend testing. Create a scheduled meeting with one of your other emails that you have and turn this on and see the difference and figure out what you like or don't like. If you have questions around what some of this stuff means, you can always reach out to support with a ticket or jump over on the weekly Thursday Q&A calls. Additionally, we have the community, and you can always ask and we can provide some answers there. If we don't know the answer, we'll dig in and get you an answer and get your reply. But you can see here, allow cancellation, how many minutes before. Normally this is something where I do 2 hours before they can cancel. If it's not 2 hours before, they can't cancel it. Rescheduling, I normally make it something like 4 hours that they can reschedule before. And then you can see the meeting invite. This is what it looks like. You can always change it. You can always add variable items such as their name, address, etc. using that. But that's what that looks like. You go ahead and save it. Okay, if we go back, we now have a 15-minute booking that's available. And if we copy this and open that link, this is what it is. So you have your different days. It says it's a 15-minute phone call over here. Your description shows up here. And then the time zone that they're on is right here. They pick a time, they select it. Now they go, and here is your form. So the form that we set up is now here. They enter their information. They schedule it, and then they get an email that tells them that's been scheduled. 24 hours out, a reminder. 1 hour out, a reminder. 5 minutes out, a reminder. So this is a real simple one where they're getting a phone call. You're just reaching out with a phone call, and it would be done through, your Patriot Business Systems phone numbers. You could call them through the app or through the web app and handle that, and then the recording would be right in the contact and things of that nature. So that's kind of what this looks like. So if we go back real quick to our number 5, we can see now that we have connected a calendar, have it sync. We are already created a form that's for the scheduling calendar, and we have scheduled on that calendar. So that's what we needed to do for step 5. If you have any questions, concerns, reach out with a support ticket. Again, Thursday Q&A calls. You can ask questions there on Zoom, the community, any how-to questions that you have. Otherwise, I'll see you over on step 6.